China.
Donald Trump is tough on China, or so he says. But as you know, Donald Trump and his party are having a struggle in this election as we encounter one of the top 4 worst mass shootings in United States history. While all of this is happening, Donald Trump has been spending his Asian tour over the last week and a half rekindling a love affair with China. That's right. On the first anniversary of his election, Donald J. Trump touched down in the country that he most maligned during the 26 campaign. Donald Trump talked about how he was going to be tough on China. How he was going
on China.
We're going to get a better deal. But it turns out Donald Trump's reception in China was quite warm, with adorable children waving flags and holding up signs that say, "We love Trump."
He even had dinner in the Forbidden City.
He certainly did. His arrival was filled with an unmistakable sense of irony, but it also underscored the geopolitical realities that Trump has yet to confront as president. Because let's remember that for all the tough talking on China that Donald Trump has done, we have yet to see any meaningful trade sanctions. We have yet to see Donald Trump designate China as a currency manipulator. And now he's going to have a delicious meal with them in the Forbidden City. Okay, so Donald Trump is in a weird place right now.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
You know, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here.
Okay.
Because he is in a very weird position. Because, I'm taking my glasses off. And you guys know, I mean, I could talk North Korea for years. But the region cannot survive a war with North Korea.
Sure.
Because Kim Jong-un is utterly unpredictable.
Look at the size of the economies that stand to be decimated. You've got South Korea. You've got Japan.
South Korea is what, the 5th largest economy?
8th.
8th. But Seoul, I think, is the 5th largest city in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 30 miles away from the demilitarized zone. Right?
Guaranteed destruction.
You have Japan. You have China.
This is all existing, and then you got your little North Korea right up there.
And you have North Korea. And so while he can talk tough in South Korea, he knows, and I'm pretty sure his people are telling him, like, listen, nothing's going to fly over. And also China, to some extent, China does not like the ideal of America dipping its foot in its region. It'd be the same, listen, we wouldn't like it if China was over here messing around and like bringing ships over to Jamaica and be like, we're just going to plant some ships in Jamaica. And we're just going to go over here and help. Like, for example, if China was instrumental in the CAMIA car, which is the economic free trade, like economic agreement between all the Caribbean nations, if China's like, we're going to get into CAMIA car and we're going to make it all work, we would be very nervous. Yeah. If they were flying planes over Jamaica and Trinidad, we would not be happy campers. We would be very upset. Because this is our sphere of the world. We sort of run the cards around here. Yeah. And China's like, listen, okay, Japan, we're cool with them. Not really, but whatever. This is our territory. We run the cards. And so they don't like this ideal of U.S. military buildup in that region. And I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, the Chinese leader was like, listen, all these ships,
it's not cool.
That ain't cool. So I think there's that. And I think President Trump also understands, and if he hasn't, I'm pretty sure Mad Dog Mad has told him, listen, you can sit over here and you can play footsie with North Korea. But North Korea ain't like nothing we've seen before. Because the old regimes understood that the nuclear weapons were there as a deterrent to keep the regime. We'll keep the nukes, and the nukes will keep people away from bothering us, and thus we will exist. This new guy, he don't give a hoot.
Oh yeah, he's ready to pop off.
He's ready to pop. So you can't be going over here playing footsie, because footsie could mean not only could he bomb Japan or South Korea, but he could bomb Hawaii or Guam, and then we are in a war. We are in a war that's going to be devastating for this region. So there's that. And I think the lever here, the one country that could sort of, you know, say, hey, knock that off, is China.
Right. I mean, North Korea's imports and exports go exclusively through China, right? Like, they could just say, we're shutting the door.
Until you stop it.
All right.
Stop. So President Trump has to go over there and he has to play nice with the Chinese.
Sure.
To level, like to calm the people. He's got to calm the people.
If he could ever earn his title of deal maker in chief, now would be the time to do it.
Yeah, and I think the deal is like, listen, we need you. He says to the Chinese leader, Xi, we need you to go over there and be, you know, we'll work with you. And like, I mean, I think there really has to be six-party talks. I've said this before. Yeah. I think Russia has to be in these talks because they share the north border with the Koreans. I think China has to be in these talks. I think South Korea. I think the United States, Japan, and then another and some neutral party. So either that
from the EU,
either leaves. That's the EU. That's the Swiss. That might be the Finnish. I mean, it might be Finland. It might be Finland, Sweden, a country that everybody at the table trusts. That could be like, all right. We're just here. We're just the arbitrators.
They're like the person that sends the messages between.
Yeah, like I mean,
Finland that.
And I mean, you know, people. I mean, he knows I have a bias towards the Swiss. I think the Swiss would be a great partner to have, and have the Swiss sort of be the ones saying, "All right, now this is what they say. Now what do you say? Right. Okay, this is what you say. Now Now how can we meet in the middle on this? Maybe the Swiss, maybe the Germans, maybe Angela, my girl Angela Merkel. You know, I love me some Angela." Like, but so I'll give the president. I'm going to give him. I know progressives don't like it, but I'm going to give him an inch or two on this one. I think it's the right move.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's the thing. You have to look at the big picture right now, and China is the missing piece to the North Korea puzzle. And unfortunately, you know, when you talk about making a deal, you got to give something up. Now, here's a perfect example. One of the things that China has done in the last couple of months is sign on to a new UN Security Council sanction against North Korea. Now, the only reason that they signed onto this is because behind closed doors, the White House delayed a move to launch an investigation into alleged Chinese IP, intellectual property theft.
Which is what they're doing.
Right? So
they just try to steal intellectual property.
And we got to say at a certain point, listen, like, we'll give you this if you'll do this for us.
Because what China can't afford is a trade war with us and an actual war with North Korea. They can't afford both because it would, like, I mean, mind you, we have a trade deficit with them, but if we're their #1 importer. So if we're like, we're at war, we're at a trade war with you, so we're going to stop buying your goods. Oh, and we're going to war with North Korea.
Yeah, that sweet North Korea export paycheck doesn't sound nearly as good.
No, not when you have to pay for a war that's literally on your border.
Yep.
Right, and you lose the United States. And you're losing billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Probably.